How sad is the lantern of guidance and the ship to salvation, and the ship to salvation. إن الحسين مصباح الهدى وسفينة النجاة.
Muharram is not only about mourning during these days or mourning a tragedy of the past. It is about learning how to live today with courage, consciousness, and trust in Allah. It teaches us lessons beyond tears, to be very honest. It is about the journey of tawakkul, but at the same time, with much effort, with understanding, and with agreeing and accepting the wisdom and the hikmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every situation. Just like how Bibi Zainab salamullahi alayha said, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. I have not seen but just beauty in whatever situation she was. So, on today's program, we're going to be talking about this in depth. I have with me my guest, Dr. Syeda Narjis Baqri, who has joined me, and I'm going to be asking her when we talk about, the lessons beyond tears, the tawakkul journey. See, often this happens. I'm sure you would also agree with me, Narjis, when we say, just do tawakkul on Allah. Just Allah pe tawakkul kar lo, sab theek ho jayega.
Yeah.
But is that the actual literal meaning, to just like, leave it and Allah will do everything? This reminds me of that story. Remember during, if it was during Imam Ali alayhi salam's time or Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's time, that there was a companion who had left his horse outside of his house and had, just left him. He had just like tied around the saddle or something to the fence, and he went for something, and then he thought that the horse will not go away anywhere. He said, Allah is there, Allah can take care of this horse and everything. But by the time he came back, the horse had already fled and gone. Of course, after it was an animal, and
Somebody stole it.
yeah, somebody stole it or whatever. So do you think that is the actual meaning of tawakkul in literal words when we go to these majalises? Is this what we're picking from?
No, definitely. A continuation to that even is that Rasulullah told him that do tawakkul on Allah after tying your camel. So first tie your camel or horse and then do tawakkul. So that's like, obviously, tawakkul doesn't mean like just ease. You have to work hard, and then you don't obsess over the outcome of the result. You give your best and then you leave on God, whatever the result comes. And then not just leave on God, it's like being content with whatever the result happens, even if it's a failure or not a failure.
Right, absolutely. I think that in today's times, and just to be very honest, we need to put in extra effort. I'm not just even talking about little effort. You know why? Because it's the way our lifestyles have become right now. Our lives have become super demanding. As youths, as students, as doctors like yourself, as teachers, as mothers, as parents, we all have our own responsibilities at home or even as a volunteer at our communities, right? So our zamedari, our responsibility increases and double folds. And so I know sometimes it can get really too much. Like I go like, why? This is so much for me. It can have an effect on my mental health as well. But we have to somehow balance it out, I feel, at the end of the day. Like, let me give you an example of Bibi Zainab. Salamullahi alayha. She was the only woman at that time who had to take care of all the women, all the sisters, all the wives of Imam Hussein alayhi salam at that time, all the children. It was not easy to be the only healer at that time. That's why they say she was Ummul Masaib. Because she had so much patience. Her patience has been compared to the mountain of patience. She's known as the Jabal as-Sabr, right? So again, was it easy for her to just do tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Was that enough on its own?
No, it's definitely, I think one thing that we all misunderstand is that, some people, they're like, okay, so if I do tawakkul, can I feel anxious about the result? Yes, of course, you do tawakkul. That does not make, see, having faith or believe in something does not make you not feel anything that is humane. So it's completely normal to feel anxious about what the result is going to be. But as I mentioned, you stop obsessing over the control. In today's world, it's so, as you mentioned, it's difficult. Why? Because people are obsessed with control on the outcome.
Oh, no,
There's so much I've heard. Everybody is so crazy over palm reading these days because they
Really?
want to know what's the
What
future.
happened?
They want to know what's going to happen because we have this as humans. We have an inborn fear of the unknown. That's why we fear death, because we don't know what's going to happen. So that's why it's very difficult to tawakkul. But Sakina bhai, I'll tell you a very small story
Yeah.
on explaining this whole phenomena of tawakkul. See, there was a man who, was into mountain climbing and everything. So he decides to go on a journey. And this, by the way, this story was taught to me by my teacher myself, by herself. So this man, he was a mountain climber, and he decides to go on this mountain climbing journey.
Okay.
Now that mountain in that village was very steep.
Okay.
So they knew that they had to do it in the daylight. Otherwise, if it's night, it's first of all gets very cold up there, and it's difficult. It gets very dark, and it's a lot of people die over there.
Okay.
So he sets off with his entire gear, mountain gear and stuff. Now, when he goes to the mountains, what happens is that midway,
Yeah.
his hand slips, and he falls.
Oh.
But then, because of the harness that he had, he's like stuck midair. The rope caught him, so
Okay.
he's like stuck midair.
Mid-air, I get it. Yeah.
Now, what happens is that, imagine you're in that situation. You're stuck midair.
Oh my God.
You're like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
So now
Obviously.
mentally, you're gonna hold on to that rope, right? So now, what happens is the night starts coming. It starts getting dark. He has no way. He's not able to, go up or do anything. The night falls and it's getting very cold.
Yeah.
Now, in the worst situations, we all remember Allah in our difficult
Yeah.
times.
Obviously.
So what he does is that he starts calling to Allah and he tells Allah to help him. Now, what happens is he hears this voice of Allah. Allah tells him that, look, I'm telling you something to do. You do it and you trust me.
Okay.
So Allah tells him, cut off the rope.
Oh my God.
Now, if you were in this position, what would your
I
reaction?
would be so uncertain to take that risk.
Yeah, because it's the rope was the only thing that was
So
keeping
holding
him
him up,
alive, right?
yeah.
It was holding him up.
Absolutely.
So now he's hayran. He's like, no, Allah, give me, just save me in another way. Allah said, trust me. You just have believe in me, leave it on me, and cut the rope. He
Ya
didn't
Allah.
listen. 3 times they say, but he didn't listen. In the end, the morning happens, and the villagers, when they come towards the mountain, those people who are coming, they see he is dead because he froze to death.
Death.
Now this man died. Now the funny and ironic thing is that the villagers see that he was just 1 inch above the surface.
Oh my
So he was
God.
hanging right here, and there was a surface of, I wouldn't say ground because it's still mountain,
Yeah.
that he would be able to, if he had cut the rope, he would have
He would have
landed.
landed.
But because of the darkness of the night, he was not able to see what is below. Now, this is something which applies to us in our lives. This
Yeah.
mountain is our zindagi, it's our life, right? There are times when we are hanging because we don't have the knowledge of the unknown
Unseen, yeah.
or unseen.
Yeah.
We don't know what's the best.
What's the best?
But God is there. He knows what's the best for you. He can
Absolutely.
see everything. So all we have to do is, trust in Him. And that is the whole concept of tawakkul.
Tawakkul.
And, I will add another thing is that even Ahlul Bayt, they are like those people who Allah had tried and tested.
Mhm.
So they have climbed this mountain of life, and they have reached that peak already.
Yeah.
So they know all the shortcuts that we can take to reach the peak
To reach
easily.
the peak.
They know
Subhanallah.
which place we should avoid so we don't fall. So that's why we're told to do tawassul to Ahlul Bayt and to, for example, use Muharam and Karbala story and, hold on to as the show is lantern of light.
Yeah.
So Imam Hussein is the lantern. We have to hold on to that arc of
Misbah al-Huda.
salvation.
Yes.
Yes, so that we can go and easily climb the top peak. Otherwise, we really don't know what is the reality,
Beautifully explained. And absolutely, the way she said, Misbah al-Huda al-Husainu, Misbah al-Huda wa Safinat al-Najat, right? At the end of the day. And I can't believe that this story really resonates to our lives,
Yeah.
Narjis. Like, oftentimes, we are like questioning ourselves, our lifestyles. For example, why is Allah, like not giving me enough? why is Allah, testing me? Why is he always, putting me in an imtihan? But sometimes there's always a hikmat behind it.
Yes.
And this one naturally fits, our Muharram lessons, Muharramic lessons, and everything, that we should trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during uncertainty. We should have patience without passivity.
Yes.
Even when we are going through grief, when we are going through anxiety, or our du'as are being unanswered, we should continue pleading to Allah, asking Him, despite our hardship, because Allah is always there for us. We might feel like, okay, for a moment He's not there, but He is always there with every human being on this planet, even be it an ant, a black ant, which is on a black rock in the middle of the darkness of the night. Allah is even taking care of that ant's sustenance. So what are we, right? Subhanallah. So this is a very beautiful lesson about tawakkul, and from what we can learn, especially when we talk about the calmness of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala, and Bibi Zainab salamullahi alayha. What's this? This is tawakkul at the end of the day.
But I'll say, sometimes, unfortunately, we think that, we cannot reach the level of Hazrat Zainab and Hazrat Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So no problem. At least we can try to be like the ashab. The amount of tawakkul that the ashab had as well, like Zuhair ibn Qayn, like Habib ibn Madahir, they all had that tawakkul.
Yes.
Imam told them on the night of Ashura that, look, you are going to die.
Yes.
But they stuck by Imam. Why? Because they trusted Allah completely.
Completely. Very beautiful. I would just like to finish today's this short conversation with a liner, a strong punchline, that tawakkul is not the absence of pain. It is certainty despite pain, right?
Yes.
So this is something that we should always keep in mind. At the end of the day, we are finding meaning in our trials. We are coping with failure. We are balancing effort with trust, which is a key ingredient for any Muslim or for anyone who wants to learn true lessons from Karbala. Now it's time to move to our quiz segment, and inshallah I will be picking a few good questions, and inshallah then we will wrap our program. So are you ready, Narjis? Once again, this is for our viewers. I hope that you've been enjoying, by the way, these short, questions and answers that we're bringing to you. I hope that it adds even a slightest or a little bit of knowledge. So we would be happy. And curiosity. So we can get back your feedback, inshallah. Okay, so today's question for Narjis is that, which Shia scholar wrote Al-Muraja'at, which is a famous debate-style book?
I have absolutely no idea.
So this one is a bit new. Even I didn't know about it when I was researching and everything.
Okay.
So he's known as Sharafuddin al-Musawi.
Sharafuddin al-Musawi.
Yeah, so he's written in a very debate-style book, form, which is very interesting. Okay, next one is, which contemporary marja is widely followed today, and he is actually based in Najaf and he's alive?
So it's Ayatollah Sistani.
Yes, correct.
I also do his taqlid myself as well.
Yep, exactly. He's the one. Okay, next question is, which woman sacrificed her 2 sons for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, excluding Bibi Zainab salamullahi alayha? She's a different lady.
Okay. I thought about Bibi Zainab because of Ali Muhammad.
That's what the question says. For those who thought,
I think
there was another lady as well, and she was very well known because when there was an example of her. They said that when her son's beheaded head was thrown back to her, so she said that we do not accept like khairat, or
that we give in the way of Allah.
We give in the way of Allah. So that was her response.
That was Wahab.
Yes, right? Correct. That was Bibi Wahab. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that she had 2 sons. I just know about this one son whose head was beheaded.
He was a groom, by the way, right? Yeah, he was newly married, but then it also says there was another son apparently.
Yes.
Okay, another question is, which Bibi gathered the children after the tents were burned?
That's Bibi Zainab.
Correct answer.
She was the alamdar.
Yes.
The one who was leading the caravan. the
She
time.
was the healer throughout their journey. She was the Sardar, the master who took over after Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That's why she has been given the title of being Sharikatul Hussein alayhi salam.
Bisha.
Yeah.
Subhanallah.
Next we have which Bibi again protected Imam Ali ibn Hussein, meaning Imam Zainul
Zainab.
Abidin alayhi salam, from being killed?
That's Bibi Zainab as well.
Yes, again, that's Bibi Zainab bint Ali alayhi salam. Okay, next question is, um, which lady became one of the main narrators of Karbala?
I think that's also Bibi Zainab because she would recite Majlis after
Yes,
Karbala.
yes. In some riwayas, we also get Bibi Kulthum, salamullahi
Yes, yes.
alaiha, because both the sisters, they of course did the. Well, in fact, Bibi Zainab is known as Fatima al Kubra, and Bibi Zainab is known as Bibi Kulthum.
Saniya Zahra and Saniya Zainab,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Second Zahra and
Second, yeah.
Zainab.
So in some riwayas, we see that both the sisters did a phenomenal job in narrating,
Yes.
and that's why sometimes Bibi Kulthum is also known as Fatima al Sughra,
Yes.
according to some narrations.
I think
Okay.
that is the homework we should give for this session. That we need to really, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information on certain, like Bibi Kulthum and stuff. So it's best to, do some research on these
Yes.
holy personalities as well. Because
Yes.
she also did very major roles. In fact, she also gave lots of sermons that we don't have a lot.
Yes.
We don't hear a lot about.
Absolutely. And because we are not giving any knowledge without scholarly advice, or we're not like scholars, we're learners at the end of the day. So that's why we advise you to always look up and do your own research. Okay, which ziyarat contains repeated which ziyarat talks about the killers of Imam Hussein alayhi salam?
Killers of Imam Hussein, I would think about Ziyarat Ashura, I think so. That has mostly the killers, like the
Yeah.
lands and like
Yeah,
sending curse upon the killers of above the lands.
absolutely. That's the correct answer. What does Arba'in commemorate?
Arba'in means the 40, and that's the 40th of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam.
Yes, the 40th day after
It's actually the
Ashura.
sunnah of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam.
Yes, this was also the sunnah of Bibi Zainab salam alayha. Why was the Euphrates, meaning the river of Furat, important in Karbala?
Because that was the river. It was like at the place that Ahlul Bayt were. I mean, the place where Imam Hussein's camp was, and the whole war that took place. It was a very, it was a desert, and that was the only river. Furat was the only water source.
Yes.
And that was taken away.
That was taken
In the
away.
sense that they didn't allow it to go, the water to go towards
Correct.
Imam Hussein's camp. And Hazrat Abbas died near the Furat. Was martyred, married.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, which Shia alim is famous for his philosophical works like Al-Asfar al-Arba'a?
Al-Asfar al-Arba'a.
Okay, so this person, he also has a very close, love and loyalty for Janabe Bibi Fatimat al-Masuma, salamullahi alayha, who is the sister of Imam Ali al-Rida alayhi salam. I just remember now why, because this person, whenever he would want to do like iltimas, iltija, or what do you say, like tawassul, he would do it from Bibi Masuma for especially his intellectual and philosophical matters, I remember. So he is known as Mullah Sadra, by the way.
I've heard about him.
Yeah, very well known. Even when he wanted to know the place of Bibi Fatima's burial.
Yeah.
Like where is her grave, for example. So he took, like you can say, mentorship from Ayatollah Marashi Najafi, because he was the one who had asked, who had got a dream, and in his dream he had got like an awareness or guidance, a divine guidance, that go to the Fatima who lives in Qom, go and seek her tawassul, right? Like, so through his guidance, and Mullah Sadra was the second person who used to seek tawassul for his philosophical and intellectual matters. The Karima Ahlul Bayt, Bibi Masuma Salamullahi Alaiha has been granted this title after Bibi Fatima Zahra Salamullahi Alaiha. Okay, so we have come to the final Muharram series with Dr. Syeda Narjis Baqri. I hope that all of you would have benefited from today's podcast as well and from our quiz. And inshallah, please do give us your feedback. We would love to share and hear it. And please make sure to share the program as much as possible. This is your host, Sakeena Habib. I hope that we remember each other in duas. And special thanks to my dear guest, Narjis Zahra Baqri, for joining me all the way, taking out her precious time for these amazing podcast series. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jazakallah.
It was a pleasure to come. Inshallah, we all implement what we know into our day-to-day lives, inshallah.
Yes. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.